Hello,
Hello,
welcome to episode 10
with Georgina
and Mark.
and Mark, and 2 days to go.
2 days to
We've
go.
got the unseen coming tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what we're holding that till last
Yeah,
minute,
that's the
so the
last minute one.
maximum impact.
Yeah.
So this is a question that I have made up. I think there's a more complicated version of it in the list.
Oh, I like
The
it.
only reason I've trimmed it down because I think in our version of it we give them the counter.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
our version says, but mainly for the powerful or something.
Something like that.
So
I like that because language is a source of power for powerful people, for powerless people.
yeah. What's the content?
Oh, okay. You've got to write about. Oh, this is
it's a
hard,
tough
isn't it?
one.
You've got to write about. Well, you can't help writing about language.
Oh, is this a significance question? Have I done it wrong? Should it be the significance? Oh,
No, I think
no.
so. So you've got to write about language.
The debate is the power, because it's whose
Yeah.
power, how is that power used, is
Is
power
it-
gained or lost?
Is it a source of power, or does it merely reflect the amount of power you've got?
Yeah.
So
Or
your
is it only a
silence-
source of power for some?
Yeah, your silence if you're powerless. You've got a lot of power if you're powerful. Is that the debate? Can you have powerful language and be powerless? Those are the sorts of debates. So you've got to write about language and not money is a source of power and write an essay about money. It's
Yeah.
got to be language.
And this isn't like
Yeah.
a prediction, but it's just they haven't asked a question about it.
Yeah.
And they've done work, and they've done
Yeah.
education, and they've done
Yeah, and I would like to say a
What else?
cousin question is
voice.
silence.
Yeah, articulate,
Silence.
inarticulacy.
Yeah. Who is
Yeah.
silent?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I thought we could take it poem by poem.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, let's brief.
Do you like my picture of a bread factory? It looks a bit AI, so I feel sad about that. But Marked of D, how is language a source of power in Marked of D?
I say yes.
Yes.
But not the father's language. It's interesting that the son is the articulate one who's writing this amazing poem. But it's the father who's had it crushed out of him by education and the social status.
So it's like the lack of language
Yeah.
equals powerlessness.
Yeah.
Therefore, language.
Yeah. You
is a
shut
source
people
of
up
power.
telling them they're stupid.
Yeah. Also, a sort of like a snobbery against voice. If you haven't got the dominant language, you don't count
Yeah.
because the dad's
And the
dialect
dad has
is.
completely internalized it.
Yeah.
Completely accepted that.
Working class accent
Yeah.
dialect equals stupid, equals
Yeah.
no hope, equals.
Dunce. And his father seems to have
And
completely
there is
accepted it.
there's the metaphor of the tongue, isn't there? So you'd want to link language to
The
voice.
one that weighed like lead.
Weighed like lead,
Yeah.
and it burst into flame, but only literally,
Only
I'm
literally.
afraid.
Oh my goodness, what an image.
It's a brutal poem, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, good poem to use.
It is.
Great.
It is. Hang on, what are you saying? You're saying language is power and it's crushed out of
Yeah.
people, their ability to.
Harrison shows
Yeah.
us that a lack of linguistic skill equals powerlessness.
And upside downiness. If you're powerless, you feel
And
ashamed
his-
of your linguistic skill.
His capturing of the sonnet form shows that his linguistic power allows him
Yes.
to expose and comment on it.
Oh, we got there.
What about
Working.
working? It's not as direct or
No.
explicit, is it?
It's a poem about Harrison, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And about how he
Oh,
is
true,
bringing
yeah.
Patience Kershaw to life.
Yeah.
And-
So if
yeah.
you extend language into literature and poetry,
Yeah.
it's a crisis of whether writing poetry is worth
Yeah.
it or not.
So he is working to break the silence of the worked out God. She is silenced. She has no language.
Yeah.
Silenced, forgotten. He is the one who has the language and is working to bring her to life. Oh, I love it.
Do you think?
Oh, and it's a sonnet. It's a closure of the sonnet at the end where he is triumphant about
couplet.
his ability with language and
It's
the
such a
importance.
resounding end, isn't it? I love that
Yeah.
final rhyme and couplet's so good.
Yeah.
And even that mentions the mouth, doesn't it?
Yeah, the gob.
The worked out
Yeah.
gob. So like the tongue, the mouth, all this imagery.
She's too exhausted, the worked out God, she's too
Yeah.
exhausted, and people like her too exhausted to be
Hmm.
articulately putting forward their case and their history. And Tony
But there is
Harrison
a sense
doing
that
it.
her language or lack of is irrelevant, and she'd be in that mind.
Yeah,
They're connected, but it's not.
yeah. But that she's been silenced, I quite like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that him giving her like a line of heavily dialectic speech is sort of significant or not for this question?
He gives her a line.
Well, there were no but something as once raking up.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do this. Closed book.
I think I could recite the poem.
Yeah, not in order.
No, it's quote by quote.
Anyway,
Yeah.
National Trust.
National Trust. Do you want to start with that one?
The tongueless man.
Gets his land up.
Yeah.
Bloody
So
does.
I always think it sounds a little bit like victim blaming, that phrase, but it's not meant that way, is it? But yeah, he shows us that language erasure is a massive help if you want to crush and oppress and
Obliterate.
or assimilate
Yeah.
a group
By
or an area.
obliterating,
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
silenced the language they swore in.
Yeah. The convict is mad grey.
Yeah, the
played
metaphorical
grey, mad, dumb.
dumbness of
Yeah.
the convict.
Those sorts of mining experiences do shut people up, and they are assimilated, as you say, into other people's histories, into richer histories.
Nobody brought to book.
No.
So lots of focus on like language and writing and what is the meaning of that quote, the Cornish expression? The tongueless man gets his land took. It's like if they take your voice, they can take everything else.
Yes.
So like if you don't claim the power of language, then you're really vulnerable.
And obviously Harrison has given the Cornish back and the language back.
Yeah.
So you say that. And all that is about the end of the poem. I'm trying to throw a method in. The end of the poem.
Structure. Well, you've got the micro and the macro.
Yeah. The ends of sonnets being the summary of their punchy meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, I forgot what it was.
No,
it's
we'll
on the tip of my brain.
Do you know that that's how it started?
It's gone.
It's gone. It'll come back.
I don't know what it was. No.
A point that we keep making is that it's good to write about Harrison.
Yeah.
He's not silenced, and he does.
He's like a character, isn't he? It's funny because in almost every other bit of poetry you teach, you're sort of like the speaker, but ain't no speaker. It's Harrison.
And which is really good to say for them and us.
Yeah. A boring image of a classroom I've found here, but I couldn't
never
find
had a
something more
classroom
old-fashioned looking.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that teacher bullying them, but who knows?
No.
It's just all the way through the poem, isn't it? Even though we hate the word throughout, it is throughout.
What is?
Language in this, right from the start, an accent is compared to a stutter, and like education is compared to gargling pebbles as a painful process.
Yeah. And I like the thought that at the end of Sonnet 1, he's pretty much in the same situation as his father. He's gone to grammar school, his father presumably didn't, but he can shut up and try and be one of them and obliterate himself and feel like a try-hard and a... What's the other thing? Imposter syndrome. He can do that, but I'm going to be me in the second verse.
Yeah.
And speak the language that is spoke at home, and assert his own identity.
So language is a source of power for rebellion, for speaking out, for rejecting.
Yeah. I mean, I think
but only if you play the game well. You have to jump through the hoops, get the level of linguistic power, and then you can spit it out.
And many people would have just accepted that teacher's edicts and commentaries on them and felt stupid all their lives. I hope I haven't done that to anyone.
God, imagine. Every time I mark someone's work, I think, don't write that, write this.
Don't write that,
What about the fact that he dares to compare himself to like a famous Greek orator? He compares himself to Keats and Shakespeare and Wordsworth. That's like a... language as a source of power, isn't it? Like
and
identifying yourself with...
The teacher doesn't seem to know that the Cockney Keats thing, and he does know how Wordsworth spoke like water, not water.
Yeah.
He knows stuff.
Yeah.
But I think his power comes from being himself, not being the poet that the teacher wants, the type of RP poet.
And then also you've
got...
Like
Betjeman, for example.
You've got all the stuff about how, the leasehold poetry, you've got language as a source of power for Harrison's rebellion, but you're also being shown how the different ways that language is a tool for oppression. Because it's, if you don't speak like us, you're not in. If you can't read this literature, you're not in. you can't. And then
Yeah.
if you do write literature, we'll rename you and rebrand you.
Yes.
Otherwise, the end is a joke, isn't it? The end
It is a
isn't.
little
It's
joke,
not a crushing, undermining.
No, he is Tony Harrison.
Yeah.
Like, we're calling him Tony Harrison. It was just a one-off.
Yeah.
But like a wry nod to. Oh.
It's like levity to. He knows he's been quite aggressive and bullish, and if it doesn't have that little touch of humour,
Yes.
You'd find it pompous.
Yeah.
At the end. I've remembered what I was going to say on National Trust, but the time is going wildly.
It is.
Sometimes I've had people write that the bracket translation undermines the having the Cornish, but it doesn't. You don't have to. He doesn't want you to go Google it, does he?
Literally,
he has to
you
tell
wouldn't
you
have
what
been
it
able
means.
to.
Yeah.
Literally, nobody could have. That's an irony. Nobody could have understood that.
Yeah. Right, so I just lumped together divisions in V. I don't think divisions actually is very good for it because it doesn't.
No.
It's like conceptually it's the same stuff as V, but it doesn't go into it.
No, but
explicitly.
apart from a quick nod to they are silent, and he is explaining them.
Yeah, the watcher.
Yeah, and why are they like this? Whereas in V, he does give that.
Yeah.
He does voice it.
I can't imagine you'd write a paragraph on divisions.
No.
You would maybe just acknowledge it, but
as part
V
of
is so much more explicit.
Yeah, he's got a
isn't
huge voice. He's graffitiing everywhere you shouldn't graffiti, and he's got a very powerful. It's what you remember about the poem, that power of that voice. Whereas in divisions, they're silent.
And he's comparing his pen to their spray can, isn't he? He's sort of saying,
"I've got my work on show all over Leeds." Yeah.
And he says, "I've seen my name in Broadway lights. Like, don't they deserve to have that kind of voice?" And you've got the V itself being compared to the red tick he never saw much at school. So like education and language tied together.
So that is a very loud
and the swearing.
skinhead.
The swearing.
Yeah. Speaking the language that he spoke at home.
Who gets to swear?
Yeah. I'm wondering if some people obviously say it's a sign of being inarticulate. His language goes nowhere. He's not exactly uniting and fighting the system. Other people might say, no, he has got a power. It's Tony Harrison's most powerful writing compared to the stuff about Rambo and Wordsworth.
Like,
I'm done now.
In real life, does swearing, when does swearing lose you power because people look down on you? But like, if it gets a poem in the headlines and it gets a poem on Channel 4,
that's interesting.
It is the power, isn't it? If you took those 17 cunts out of the poem, I've done it. It's on record.
Said it.
I know, it's sacked.
We're going to be sacked.
Would it just have like faded away to nothingness without the swearing?
Totally off course here. He would have said that's what people really objected to, but nearly all students object to the racism now.
No, there wouldn't have been a battered eyelash at the slurs.
No, that wasn't mentioned. The most offensive word 17 times was not the racism. But different things become.
But that's all about assumed readership, isn't it?
It is.
No one in the publishing or the media is interested in a non-white person's opinion on it, essentially.
Yeah. I know we need to get back to this though. So
language
there is a voice. We don't like his voice, but compared to Patience Kershaw and Divisions, and the dad, you can hear it. I feel that about Twitter. You actually hear the voice of people, and I don't like it. I find it aggressive and nasty.
Yeah, that's why I've never been on it. I hate it.
But anyway, giving in the voice, is it power?
Language is a source of power.
Is it a source of power?
Swearing gives the poem power. He explores the power that his language gives him versus the skinhead doppelganger. Don't speak Greek to me.
Don't treat me like I'm dumb.
He doesn't, But then you also have the doubting of the power of language because you have the skinheads saying it's not books we need in this class war, you fucking poofy words or something.
Yes.
Like
Who needs your fucking puffy
rejects the power of language.
Yeah.
So Harrison himself can't decide how powerful language is.
He's having an internal debate, isn't it? But I reckon he comes down on it.
Yeah.
I think the skinheads' language is powerful and interesting, but doesn't get him anywhere. It's Harrison's poetry that gets him somewhere and on the television.
But he's incorporating language into poetry that other people hadn't.
Yes.
So it's like he's platforming a different voice.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But then the last slide, I've just chucked in the other textbook.
We're already at 15 minutes. What are we going to do? Should we see if there's a clamour? If there's a clamour, we'll come
Yeah,
back
clamour for part.
as in, if one person messages us, we'll do another one on those, or just quickly run
I don't
through
know why I put the unseen there. What a load of nonsense. But language is power. Is our last statement. Right?
Yeah, there we go.
As English teachers.
Yeah, and we're English teachers. Have got to be.
Yeah. Clamour away.
Yes.
Or not.
See you guys.